And we are in. What's up, Eurovision people? My name is Sean, and I am joined once again by my fellow reactors and Eurovision fans. To my left
is George from Italy, and below me is
Eston from Estonia. Hello. Glad to be back.
Yes, we're glad to
we
have
missed
you back.
you.
We're one down again.
During the time that...
Hopefully she's going to be coming in very soon. So, today we are going to discuss the Big Five countries. For a lot of people this year, the Big Five are actually putting a spanner in the works for other countries who are usually slaying on every level. Gerli, we didn't have you on last week, so do you want to give us a quick recap on what you think on semi-final 2 before we go straight into the Big Five?
Yeah, I mean, definitely I disagree on some points that you made, and I think I'd rather not get into it because then we would talk about semi-final 2, not the Big Five. So let's leave that for another time.
Yes, let's leave that for the eve of semi-final 2, where hopefully you'll be with us and away from those bunk beds.
Yeah, let's see. Well, away from the forest, because I rarely see the bunk beds right now. I mean, I arrived back home yesterday from the forest that lasted 11 days. So, party.
Okay, so straight in, I'm going to start with a country we don't usually like to talk about because it's uncomfortable. But this year, it's a different story. I'm going to start with the United Kingdom. Giorgio, I'm going to start with you.
Well, first of all, I'm going to announce that I'm not going to be negative at all tonight because I have positive things to say about all 5 countries. And about the United Kingdom, well, I'm very happy for British Euro fans. I saw that today they won the Euro jury vote, which is, that vote that Eurovoix website does with 150 people from all the countries. And the United Kingdom won the vote of the jury.
I was literally looking at the Instagram post 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, and that's amazing for them. And I feel like many British Euro fans pretend to be from other countries because they're ashamed of their own country's Eurovision record. And this year, that's really going to change. I'm expecting the UK to have a great result. I don't think this can win, but if it does, I'm not going to complain. And it's good that a guy as charismatic, as positive as Sam Ryder, with an exceptional voice as well, is representing them. Yeah, I feel very happy for them.
Eston, what do we think about Sam Ryder?
I mean, all I can say is the UK is back in the game because this is just incredible. Sam Ryder, extremely talented guy, an internet TikTok sensation, very popular in the internet, incredible voice, incredible range. He's a big Eurovision fan himself, and the song is very radio friendly, but a song that can actually work on a big stage as well. We've heard all those news that the UK has a great staging and something we haven't seen for a long, long time. I mean, let's just remember the train wrecks that we have seen in previous years. I mean, last year, come on, and 2019, Bigger Than Us, was that even a staging? I'd say no.
So, I don't think it was that bad, but the song to begin with was...
I mean, the whole package has been terrible. Yeah. And, I mean, the songs haven't even been terrible. They've just been so in the middle of the road that you might not hate it, but you don't love it, and there's nothing there that would make you vote for them. This, on the other hand, I think has charisma, has the song, has the voice, has the appeal both for the juries and the public. It won't win, definitely, but a top 10 is very, very realistic. And I think, I don't know, 6th, 7th, 8th place maybe is
Even
very,
fifth, in my
very
opinion.
potential. Yeah. I mean, they could break into the top 5, but very, very happy with UK this year, and they really can be proud. And one thing I hope is that when it doesn't win and it's somewhere in the top 10, then we won't hear the UK and the public there, complaining that, oh God, I mean, we had such a great song. Why didn't we win? We should have won. This is all political, blah, blah, blah. Come on, please don't ruin this. Please don't ruin this.
Yeah, you know that's totally going to happen, right? Because I see on Twitter that many British locals, not Eurofans are more realistic, but the locals are totally convinced they're going to win. Yeah, it's coming home and stuff like that. I see it all the time. If they come, I'm pretty sure that at this point they're coming around fifth, because it's a song that the jurors have no excuse not to vote for. The public will totally root for, because he's such a cool guy with a great voice. The song is radio friendly, as you said. If it doesn't win, it's going to get a great result anyway, and be proud of that.
Yeah.
Like, it's the first time in years that you have a decent song. Rejoice that. Baby steps. Then the victory is coming when it's time.
Yeah, it's a house in agreement. I love the song. It's in my top 10 this year. The thing about the UK this year is I remember when the song came out, I had literally just woken up and I saw that it came out, and I didn't give myself time to wake up. I just listened to it and I loved it. And I'm not a morning person by no means, so I'm not usually inclined to like anything that is thrown at me in the very first 5 minutes when I'm waking up, but I loved it. And it's interesting because I had zero expectations from the UK this year, purely because after last year's embarrassment, I didn't think anyone would have the balls to go for Eurovision. I mean, even Ed Sheeran, who I liked, said, "I'm ready to go to Eurovision when Europe falls back in love with England." Bitch, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. There's a reason why nobody likes England anymore, and it's you are part of the problem. And
I
that's
don't
what
think that's the case. At least here, here in Italy, until 15 years ago, we used to think that that the UK was class. It was, a great country. Now, after Brexit, the reputation is not the same, but still, people don't think really badly of the UK here. So I don't think that's an excuse that we should keep using.
Maybe it's fallen from positive to neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an excuse. I mean, there are many people who don't like Israel. They still won. There are many people who don't like Russia. They still get
exactly. Israel is like the least popular country in the world.
Yeah.
And they won 4 times, 2 times in the televote era. I mean,
I don't think the UK does badly because of the reputation, but I certainly think the reputation now is tainted. And I speak for myself. I used to side with England in football. Now I side with Italy. But that's another conversation.
You're the only person from outside of Italy who sided with England then.
No, in Malta, everyone sides with England.
Really?
Either England or Italy.
Traitors. Traitors.
Yeah. Anyways,
give us 24 points.
Back to the song. I really like it. I think I have completely fallen out of love with Britpop in the last few years. But this song to me is Britpop that is still easy on the ears, and that's quality. I really like his vocals. I really like his style. My only one worry about this is that it's got some great moments in the song that can contribute to a really good live moment. You know, that part when it's like, that's great. And I can see the whole arena with their phones up. It could be a great moment. But on the pre-parties, when he was singing, "I'm up in space," and he goes up, he goes into falsetto. He doesn't go in his like raspy, gritty tone. And I don't know how that's going to come across, how he's going to do it live in Torino. But if he goes into the falsetto, to me, that's the part when the song goes up. And if he goes into that falsetto, he brings it down. So I don't know. I know I probably talk about vocals more than anyone else on this live stream, but I just hope it doesn't happen, because it would be the one thing that would stop me from saying that this is the best UK entry in the last 25 years.
I think that he's capable of doing that live. He just didn't do it in the pre-parties because the venues were smaller, and in smaller venues you can't be that loud. Like, it was a sound problem.
I mean, either way, he will sound great, even with the falsetto. I don't see this as a problem. And I mean, Sean, you talked about when you first listened to the song. When I first heard it, I liked it, but I wasn't a huge fan. I thought this was overhyped for quite some time, but over time, definitely the song has grown on me even more, and I listen to it more. I like it more, and definitely a huge grower as well, from good to great in my books. And yeah, I mean, this really should get the UK a good spot once again.
And there's a funny thing, though, before we move on to the next song, that in my Eurovision group, there's 4 British people, then 2 Turkish ones, and then there's me. And the 4 Brits all completely hate their song. Like, when it first was revealed and they were talking about it, they were like, "Oh, this is disgusting. We're coming last again." I was completely sure that it was going to be a disaster. Instead, I heard it and I was like, "Hey, this is not bad."
But what do they think about the previous entries?
Mm-hmm. They
don't tell me
worse.
that they love them.
No, they think they were even worse. But still, it's curious how they're not rooting their own entry. Maybe they just don't like their country in general.
You hit the nail on the head, though, Eston, when you said their entries haven't been terrible. They just have been middle of the road. I mean, literally, their songs have been so middling to the point that Her Royal Highness the Queen Elizabeth has her butt cheeks split on the fence of the song. They were so middling, but let's hope this is the turnaround for a new era for the UK Eurovision. One final question: where is the song in your top 40?
Mine is, I think, 18th or somewhere around there.
For me, it's I think 10th to 12th, somewhere in that region.
Okay, for me it's 9th. Moving on to a song that I am expecting a very long conversation about. EPIX Eurovision Guy. What do we think about France?
First reaction I had to the song was that I hated it, and it went straight to my last place to that point in Eurovision. The first listen was a part of the song on the Eurovision scoreboard app, and yeah, it was not great. I rooted for SOA in the French selection. And yeah, I absolutely hated Fulan. But I went by, I saw the live performance, liked it a bit more, still hated it. But it has massively grown on me, and has risen from literally the bottom to somewhere in my top 20. I think this is very, very special. The live performance really elevates the song. It has the Breton language going for it, which we've heard once in Eurovision, I think, before 1996, I think was the last time. So only the second time we hear this language. And I remember I saw a fantastic comment under the song that France is going like from the most French thing ever to a Celtic forest rave. And that is iconic. I think this has all the possibilities and chances to finish in the top 10. And France can, again, be very proud of it. And they show that they really are taking Eurovision seriously now. they want to get good results. They deserve them. And they are once again sending something very special, very unique. And I mean, talking about standing out, this is a prime example of that. Will it do as well as Go Away last year that people have compared it to? I don't know, but I think somewhere between 5th and 10th place can be very realistic, and I think this has the potential to grow on me so much when I see it on big stage as well. So yeah, I can say that I really like it now.
I appreciate this fair breakdown so much. I was expecting you to hate it, and you don't. Anymore.
I did at first.
You have been converted.
That really shows how opinions can change. And when I do these first reaction videos and I hate a song, that does not mean that I hate it forever. It can change in days, weeks, months. There's so much time.
Thank you very much, Suzanne Adams. Moving on. George.
Well, I agree on most of the things that Eston said, but except for the fact that I never hated this song. It's different for me. I never connected with it, but that's just a personal thing that I have. It's actually the lowest among these 5 that we're discussing tonight, but it's not in my bottom 10. So it's not that I hate it. I just didn't connect with it. But that's just the personal opinion that I have on it. My more objective opinion on it is that France is sending an excellent product to Eurovision. First of all, I really appreciate how their broadcaster leaves so much space to minority languages. They always have some Corsican, some Polynesian, some Creole in their selection, and I really admire that.
Say it again, loud and clear.
It's something that Spain doesn't do. Well, they did this year for once, but yeah, there are different problems in Spain. But anyway, it is comparable to Shum. I don't think it's as good because the performance of Shum was something perfect that will be hard to match. But I do agree that it's slated for a great televote success, maybe even top 5 in the televoting, because it is something that really, really stands out. It's not a song written for juries, but I hope that they manage to appreciate, the flavor and the cultural relevance that this has. And as somebody who is not a fan of the French language, I'm really happy that they're going with Breton, which to my ear sounds better.
I am so pleasantly surprised by both of your opinions on France, because an hour before we went live, I checked both of your My Eurovision scoreboards, and I was like, oh my lord, I'm going to have to be the French La Valette with my sword this evening. And I literally told a French friend of mine to come on the live stream, and I told her, when the blonde guy with the shaved head starts talking about France, you spam the chat. But she didn't have to. I agree with both of you, actually. I am more with Giorgio than Eston on the fact that I never hated the song. It was actually love at first sight. I was hoping that it would win over Soa in C'est vous qui décidez, which, by the way, I didn't really have time to get into because it came kind of abrupt this year, C'est vous qui décidez, not like last year. Last year it was really like hyped and marketed. This year, I think with Junior Eurovision, they didn't have time to...
Yeah, you're right about that, actually. Like, they organized some random live auditions in Paris that no one knew about, and then they just selected 12 people. That's how it went. You said that... No, who? Gerd Eston said that France is taking it more seriously, but I feel like they didn't really take it very seriously this year. They just got really lucky.
Or they might have scouted Alvan and IS, and they didn't really need to do all of that PR and promo because they knew they would be the ones that they would push forward. I don't know. There's all speculation. However...
I don't think that they scouted them because they're pretty unknown, like, when you think about it. They're not signed to major labels.
Yeah,
they just got really lucky.
They can. I think they can, especially after the success of Go Away. I think the French broadcaster has a very clear direction and they know what Eurovision has evolved into. Unlike
Yeah.
countries like
Ukraine got 12 points from the French televote last year, so maybe you're right.
I think countries like Malta, countries like Greece, countries like Armenia, unfortunately, these are countries we talked about in the past. They have absolutely
No
idea
identity.
in what direction Eurovision is traveling towards. Whereas France, I think, have got the hint very, very subtly. Back to the song. This was love at first sight to me. I was really happy when I did watch the show live, and when they don't really reveal the running order, and you literally see the songs one after the other. And when SOA, who were the bookies' runaway favorite to win, opened the show, I was like, oh my god, they're setting them up to lose, and they want Alvan and Ayes to win. And then when I
Were
saw
the favorites?
performance, yeah, they were like 40% to win on the bookies.
Really?
SOA,
Yeah.
Alvan and
Okay, I watched it live. I didn't know about the odds, but from the audios, I was 100% sure that Fulen was going to win.
So yeah, when I saw the live performance of Fulen, I was like, game over. This is gonna win, and this is gonna become my favorite song of Eurovision 2022. It's my silver medal. It's not my gold, but this is excellent. This is so thumping. The beat is incredible. I played it to some people who are not Eurovision fans but just watch it on the night, and they said, oh my god, I love the song because it's so not Eurovision to the point that it should win Eurovision. And that's exactly like what it is. Granted, we've had the vein of Goe and these kind of rave sounds, but I think this year there aren't many televotes obvious choices for the win. I mean, we talked about Ukraine and we talk about another country very soon, but I think France can. Top 5 is a certain for me, and I might go as far as saying top 3 in the televote. I think the jury won't rank it as high, of course, but let's keep in mind the jury put Goe 9th, where we thought the jury wouldn't even let Goe qualify. So I'm hoping that this will be a comfortable, respectable top 10 for France.
And I mean, talking about non-Eurovision type songs, I don't really think we can say that anymore because we
that's true.
see so much diversity these days and so many different songs do well that it's really difficult to say what can do well. I mean, of course, there's this thing that whatever does good this year, next year will not work. Somewhat can be true, but again, it depends on the song, and I think countries just have to select good songs, original songs, and something that they themselves can be proud of, and then let's just see what works.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I agree with you. But people who are not Eurovision fans, they will still have that preconceived idea of what is a Eurovision song.
Of course. Yeah.
I think that day I played France and I played Montenegro, and this person said, France, so not Eurovision, I love it. Montenegro, it's nice, but it's so Eurovision because it's a Balkan ballad. So non-Eurovision fans do have that preconceived idea, and maybe this could play into France's favor. Any final thoughts? Okay, let's move on to France's southern neighbor, who I have many thoughts about. Who wants to start with Spain?
You start, since you have many thoughts.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right.
Then we're going to bring in the positivity.
Okay.
Because I know that you don't like them.
Oh. So it's interesting we talk about this right after France, because you made an excellent comment that France does not try to hide its linguistic minorities. It does not try to hide its cultures from autonomous regions. And that is why we have a song coming from Brittany. Spain, let's go back to January, where the highly anticipated Benidorm Fest was broadcast on RTVE. And Spain had the song Terra by Tanchugueiras, which was a clear favorite in the Eurovision fan community. And it turned out to be that it was a clear fan favorite in Spain. And it was also my
Lear.
Just didn't get it. What?
I mean, a clear fan favorite. You can say that when it has 70% of the televote.
Thank you very much. And after
77% even.
after Chanel won, and I saw how blatantly, let's be honest, Benidorm Fest was rigged. I mean, let's be honest. We can't say that for sure, but when you see how the jury is
I
manipulating the
mean,
votes,
let's just take a look at the past of Spain in Eurovision and the process, how to select their songs, and the broadcaster. There's a great video essay on YouTube about Spain in Eurovision,
what's his
and
name?
I
Yeah,
really
their
do recommend
selections
it.
make no
EST.
sense.
Tucson EST. He's
It's
great.
yeah, it is a mess, and I hope that they can sort it out. But yeah, okay, Sean, continue.
Yeah, no, good point. I hope they can sort it out. But I think this was so evidently manipulated for Chanel to win. Even after I saw the amount of resources that this girl was given to work with, an expensive choreographer, those costumes, all of that production. She's going to Miami every 5 minutes. And then when we saw, because they so stupidly revealed, they thought, oh, we're being transparent, but actually we continue to add fuel to the fire. They revealed the results of how the songs ranked in the pre-selection process when they were picking the songs to Benidorm. And obviously Rigoberta Bandini came first, Chanel came second, and Tanchugueiras came 11th. So there were people who thought that the 77% of Spain televote winner should not even be in the finals of Benidorm Fest. That's how much they didn't want this representation to come to light. Aside from that, so obviously, with all of that backstory, I completely didn't like Chanel's Tomo, maybe for less objective reasons than one would like me to have. But in the last few days, I've tried to see it objectively, and this is a better song than Spain has sent since
2015.
Edurne. I was just about to say Edurne. However, I do still think it's generic. I do still think it's a sacrifice. The sacrifice is too big to forgive. And I do still find Chanel to be irritating. It's my number 21 of the year. It's my number 21 of the year. And it's just, by a very narrow margin, my 5th place from the Big Five. But Spain, surprise me next year. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next and bring some positivity. Well, first of all, even though you will disagree with me, I think that Spain really dodged the bullet by not sending Tanchugueiras, because their performance was a train wreck, in my opinion, at Benidorm Fest. Like, if I were a juror, I would have ranked them low as well. And France is sending something similar to Tanchugueiras. They would have been eclipsed, in my opinion, so they dodged the bullet. And the other choice was A Mama, which was not any better. It was pretentious, and an international audience wouldn't have understood it. So I think that Spain made the right choice. The corrupted juries of the RTVE made the right choice, in my opinion. In the beginning, we didn't really have any other songs to compare it to, so we couldn't really guess how well it could do. But now that we have all the songs, it turns out to be one of the few high-energy female songs of the year, meaning that it will have little competition for votes. And between how well she performs and how it stands out against all the other songs, I feel like Spain is set for a very good result, not just for their standards, but overall. They can maybe even reach the top 10. I'm not exaggerating. Like, Chanel is probably the strongest performer of the year. She's a professional dancer in the end. She can sustain a choreography while singing. Well, the pre-recorded bass will do most of the things, but it's allowed this year, so it's not a problem for her. And what else was I going to say about her? Oh, yeah, I don't think she's irritating either. Like, I think she's a very sweet girl. Like, they treated her horribly after she won. She had to deactivate Twitter, but she's actually a sweet girl. So, yeah, shed a tear or two because you were rude to her. But yeah, and about the song.
I might deactivate my Twitter now.
Well, and about the song, many people criticize that it's generic, but honestly, Chanel is not an artist. She's a dancer who wants to try singing. And I think that's like, it's a song that was written in a writing camp for Jennifer Lopez initially. And I think that's perfect for her. Well, okay, but it was written in a writing camp with Jennifer Lopez in mind. Like, let's write something that Jennifer Lopez will sing.
How many songs have you written for Katy Perry in mind?
Yeah, many. No, but seriously. Well, Katy Perry writes her own songs anyway. No, but seriously. And she pulls it off very well. Like, she isn't trying to sell the song as something that it isn't. She's just being confident, telling everybody that she's hot and telling her man to watch her slow-mo. And I think that's the best thing that she could do. Like, she's not being pretentious. She's just singing within her possibilities. And I think this is a great merit for her, because some other singers are trying to do more than their artistry allows. But now I leave it to Eston.
Okay, let's start with the objectivity. I think this will do well. Top 10 is a real possibility. And I mean, looking at Spain's history in Eurovision, the last time they reached the top 10 was in 2014 when they were exactly 10th. And to find a song that actually was higher than 10th, it happened in 2003. So definitely this year, I think they can improve a lot. Chanel is a great performer. She can dance, she can sing very well, she can do them both. The live performance was great. So I think Spain can actually be proud of it, and they will do well, especially with the televote, but I don't see a reason why the juries would bear this as well. Now, to the more exciting part. I don't like this at all. Nothing against Chanel, but the song just is not for me. I don't know. I tried to listen to it before this live stream today as well, but I had lately listened to it, and I just thought, do I really want to hear it again? No, I didn't, and I did not listen to it. It's somewhere in my bottom 10, and I've tried to make myself like it, but it just has not happened.
Bottom 10?
It's bottom 10, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I was the mean one. No, continue, sorry.
No, but
No.
I actually agree with him, because it's a song that in the studio is nothing special. It's a song that needs a live performance in order to, like, I didn't appreciate it as much as I do before watching the live performance. That sold it off, and that's ideal for the Eurovision anyway.
Yeah, very true, because I literally cannot and do not want to listen to the audio version. The only thing that makes it maybe break my bottom 5 is live performance. That kind of makes it a bit better, but still, I just can't get myself to back Spain. Dear God, hope it doesn't get to top 5. I realized that, I mean, in the odds, it is exactly 5th. And I think it will get into the top 10. But personally, yeah, I'm just not a fan.
I want to pick up on a few points that you both did. Number one, a lot of Euro fans, particularly one in a group that I am in, that keeps coming to my mind, they all say, "Oh my God, this is the best choreography I've ever seen at Eurovision." Oh, please, really? It's not original at all. It's just a lot of movement. Yes, it's difficult choreography, perhaps call it that, but it's not the best choreography in the world. For me, the best choreography is one that complements the rhythm of the song, and this one is just booty popping, booty hypnotic, hair splitting 500 times. It's just Chanel is the prop here. Her body is the prop, and I have to give her credit for that. But I want to mute down a little bit all of this. Oh my god, this is the best choreography, because we've seen countless choreographies at Eurovision, and I don't think this is the best one we've ever seen, just because it's the last one we've seen. Secondly, Georgia, you made a point about Tanshu Heiras not having the best staging at Benidorm Fest, and I have to say it's true. Yes, the performance was messy, but let's take into account what we said before and how much we believe that this wasn't the most fair of grounds for Tanshu Heiras and like Chanel to compete equally. Do you actually think they would have let them get a good performance, have a good performance, if they wanted them to be treated equally? I think camera cuts were a disaster. The whole thing
It was not just the camera cuts. It was the color pattern. First of all, was like vomit color or something.
It was a problem, yes. But they didn't
the dancers, like
invest
those two random dancers, made no points. Yeah, I don't think that RTV is to blame. Like in the end, they had most of the artistic control over it, and it was a bad performance. And the vocals also sounded off.
I think RTVE, of course, they do have artistic integrity, Tanshu Heiras, but RTVE definitely invests heavily in the acts that they want to put forward, and I think Tanshu Heiras was literally the other extreme. And also, even if the staging and the performance wasn't great, let's go back to one of your favorites, actually, Kate Miller-Heidke, who, in my opinion, had a terrible performance at Australia Decides, completely. I think it was 23rd in the odds before we got to Tel Aviv that year. And then the performance on the semi-final was just out of this world. So I do think that in national finals, we tend to judge the staging and the performance more than we actually do. I need to keep in mind that we are putting forward a song that should be able to win Eurovision. The song is the first product that needs to take off. And just to continue on that point, I do think Tanshu Heiras had a better song. Thirdly, and I'm going to be very concise, there's a lot of pre-recorded backing vocal in this one, and I think from last year, because it was the first year where we had pre-recorded backing vocalists allowed, and I have to say the juries were very unforgiving with pre-recorded backing vocalists. Now, I'm not one to be like Wee blogs and say, oh, they have great vocals, the juries are gonna mark them up. No, that doesn't happen. But last year, Effendi, Natalia Gordienko, and Tix, who had a lot of pre-recorded backing vocals.
No, Tix didn't have a pre-recorded backing vocals. He had his brother doing the backing vocals. They were live. Yeah.
If we're talking about pre-recorded vocals, then we just have to remember what Poland did.
And Poland. And Poland. Okay.
And Poland was irredeemable, though.
All of these songs wouldn't have qualified with the juries. I'm just going to put it out there. How do I think Spain will do this year? I hope they come last, obviously, but I don't think they will. And if they get a top 15, I hope they don't get a top 10. If they get a top 10, congratulations, but I kind of hope they don't.
I expect around 10 for them. Like, nothing too high, but nothing too low either.
Sean, you touched on the lyrics a bit, and I just want to say that that often happens with songs in Spanish that are for the audience of the world. The lyrics are just terrible. They have no meaning whatsoever. They are the most generic. And, I mean, the first verse, the mamacita is here, the queen, the boss, the Bugatti, the world is crazy about this body. If I have a problem, it's not a monetary one. I drive all the daddies crazy. World-class lyrics.
Eston, this is just braggadocio. I mean, like the point of the song is bragging and putting a lot of cliches about rich people in there. But it's clearly not a song that's meant to be listened to like with the lyrics. Just a Latin pop song for the international audience.
Of course, but I mean, comparing Spanish lyrics to, for example, Italy that is coming up. I mean, Italy sounds good, and you think that the lyrics are good, and they actually are. Here, you don't understand it, but the lyrics actually are just terrible as well. So there's nothing good in it. If it was sang in English, it definitely would be hated a lot more.
But it doesn't matter because everybody will be hypnotized by her performance. That's the point.
Yeah, but it won't do fuego. It will not do fuego.
No, of course not.
Me out of the hypnosis. Moving on to a country that might not divide the room so much, let's talk about Germany. I have a feeling that this is one of the Estonian picks. Maybe. Could it be? Possibly?
Could it be what?
One of the Estonian picks.
It's
picks. The picks from the Estonian people who would vote for this.
I don't know about that. I really don't know, but I can tell you that, in my opinion, it's a decent song. I mean, Germany has to up their game, definitely. The national final, I don't think it was as terrible as people said it was, Germany nil point, whatever. But this was my favorite out of the selection. And I think Malek Harris is a very sweet guy, a very rootable performer. The lyrics are great, personal to him. I mean, this is really a singer-songwriter kind of song. He sings it with all of his heart. And, it will not get 0 points. It will not be lost. It will not, climb into the top 15. I think it's somewhere around the 20th place, maybe. But, I mean, Germany can be proud of this. It will definitely have its fans. I think the rap part is actually good. I'm not a huge fan of rap typically, but I really like this one. And yeah, it's in the middle of the road for me. I like it. I'm not amazed by it, but I actually hope that it does well and better than people think.
I agree with you completely. For me, it was, first of all, the obvious choice from their national final. And I was surprised that Mylan Harris, or whatever the name was, Mylan Jonas, were about to win until they revealed the televotes. I thought that it was the obvious choice because it's a song that's current, first of all. Like, it sounds like something that Justin Bieber will release these days. It actually sounds like something from Justin Bieber's Christian EP, which he released last year. That rap part, which to us sounds cringeworthy, is actually very appreciated by the general public. And the overall nostalgic vibes of the song are totally going to hit a lot of hearts among the casual viewers. And while it's obviously not in the taste of Eurofans, I don't think that this song will be bottom 5, honestly. Like, as you said, I can see it coming 18th or 20th because it's totally going to find its audience. And even now in Germany, it's going viral on TikTok. I read today that it's about to enter the top 50 of their chart, which is something that their entries from the past 3 years couldn't do. And
Sisters.
Yeah, that one didn't even chart, I think.
What a surprise.
And neither did Bandolic and the one that they sent last year.
That's actually a surprise.
I don't think Germans are just very invested in Eurovision as much as others. But you know, what else? Yeah, and Malik is a capable performer. He's good looking, and this is important in a live show. So I don't think Germany will be a disaster. They could have done better with that chaotic group that they were supposed to send, but their broadcaster rejected. Yeah, that one. Eskimo Callboy. But I don't think it will be a disaster. Like, I think they can avoid the bottom 5, which, in my opinion, this year reserved for songs that will miraculously qualify from the semifinals.
I am just so surprised by how much we are agreeing tonight. Can we give ourselves a round of applause? Like this live stream has officially become boring. We're agreeing.
I'm surprised that Sean, you are so positive on these songs. I expected Germany to be the one that I'm maybe the only one talking something good about it, and Sean will hate it.
I love Germany this year. This is the one song. I think this year we have a lot of sad boy and sad girl songs. So sad boy songs, we've got Poland, Australia, Belgium, Azerbaijan, Germany. And then in sad girls, we've got Croatia, Armenia, Iceland, Portugal. I like none of them. None of them except Germany. I really like Germany. This song, from the minute I heard it, I was like, I hope this wins the German selection. I didn't like that fucking Felicia Lou anxiety song.
That was terrible. Like, we heard 1,000 songs about anxiety in the past 2 years, and that one was maybe the 998th best one. It was terrible. Oh my god. Thank goodness they're not sending it. That was a televote 0 points.
Yeah. And here's where maybe I have some reservations. I do think the selection was a bit of a Germany, maybe not 0 points, because it did have Malik Harris. Maybe Germany 1.5 points. How about
No, it's Germany 12 points in total.
I feel like none of those songs had any artistic integrity, artistic identity, except the one that won. The first time I heard it, I was like, oh my god, I'm sold. I really like the rap. I really like Malik's. There is this thing that really strikes me about him. When I see performers like Nadir Rustamli and unfortunately also Sheldon Riley, I don't connect with them at all. Even, oh my god, even Ochman, I struggle so much to connect with them and believe what they're singing about. Malik Harris has the ability to just have the need to open his mouth, and I feel it right here. And
he sings with emotion, I was about to say.
A lot of emotion, a lot of conviction, a lot of passion. And even when he raps, some people have said, oh, but he's too aggressive when he raps. Let him be aggressive, because that's the only way I can understand.
He's not aggressive, he's emotional.
Exactly. He's emotional, right?
He's in the song, he's performing the song, he believes it's himself, he's written it's himself, it's from him to the public. You just listen to what he sings about, what he raps about, and like you said, it is so easy to connect with him, and I think that can really make people vote for him. Actually, I don't know. It is kind of really framed, this song, but I mean, really, when I'm thinking about it, it can surprise a lot of people by actually, I don't know, breaking into the top 15 maybe.
It's top 10 in the German radio chart, actually. Like, the radios in Germany are spamming it.
Hear me out. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to, what's the word? I'm going to summon it. I genuinely think that this has the potential. It might not, but it has the potential to pull off Michael Schulte.
No, let's not go too far.
And I didn't like
fourth place.
I didn't like Michael Schulte. This has the potential.
My mom voted for him.
I don't think it will, but this to me is a really, really special song. Mind you, it's 20th in my top 40, but
26 for me.
Come on, it's
But
even higher in my top, I think.
I really appreciate it. You know what it is as well? Sometimes we just have zero expectations. And I had zero expectations for both Germany and the United Kingdom. And both of them have really surprised me. And this year, for Germany, genuinely, I don't feel hate.
Oh, you know what? I always have expectations from Germany, actually, but they never fulfill them.
I mean, Germany is just really inconsistent in Eurovision. I mean, one day they are dead last or 20th, then they win it, and then there's like 21st, 27th, 26th, whatever. I mean, and looking at last year's 25th, 4th, 25th, 25th. This year, yeah, top 20 or top 15 would be a good result.
But the thing with
I
Germany,
really hope it does well.
the thing with Germany being so inconsistent is that their taste in general is a taste of their own. Like, they don't share their taste with anybody else. They're into very tacky stuff.
Austria calling.
And here in Italy, we have the stereotype of Germans being the ones that go around with sandals and socks under them. Yeah, and for us, that's horrible, but that's our image of German people, meaning that they have a taste that they consider some things amazing that the rest of the world doesn't understand. And I think that's why there is no pop star from Germany that is global. Like, they gave us Rammstein, but that's rock. Well, for example, you think France, you think the UK, you think Italy, you think Spain. They all have iconic pop stars. Germany doesn't have anything. It has Heidi Klum, which is a supermodel, and that's it. So that's why it's harder for Germany to be successful than other countries, for example, like Spain, that have no justification to have a record as bad as they have, but they do.
And the song as terrible as Slow-Mo.
Oh, I'm talking about in general, that they haven't reached the one-digit result since 2003.
I completely understand your point, and I take your point. Yeah. To be honest, I think I really think
how isn't Spain top 10 every year? Everybody likes Spain. Everybody likes the Spanish language. It's one of the most musical in the world, and they manage to screw it up every year. It's totally beyond.
For me, the biggest mystery of Spain at Eurovision will be, you know, in 2017, 2018, there was that Latino phase that everyone was obsessed with.
Yeah, oh my God.
They could have won 2 Eurovisions, and they managed to let that wave just float by without clenching at least a top 20 finish at
but
one
Spanish Eurofans.
Yeah, in 2017, they sent a song in English, Perfect Life. That's not how you use it.
No, but the thing with Spain is that the Spanish Eurofans justify this by saying, oh, but reggaeton is Puerto Rican. That's not part of our identity. But if you look at the Spanish charts, it's all reggaeton. So, like, 60% of the songs charted are from Colombian, Puerto Rican, Mexican artists. So they can't use this excuse. Like, it's good to share music from other cultures, you know, especially at your benefit.
Last point I will make about Germany is that I genuinely think they don't give a fuck about Eurovision in general. I don't think they give a fuck. And you said, which country did you say that got lucky? Was it France?
Yeah.
I think Germany actually got lucky with Malik Harris because this song came out.
They would have gotten lucky with Eskimo Callboy.
I think listen about Eskimo Callboy. I'm here for them. I like them as a band, and I think they've got a very distinct style. But the problem is, this year we have to be very careful with, maybe not even they are, but with acts who could be perceived as rock bands. We have to be very careful with that, because it's the easiest thing for the casual Eurovision viewer to say, oh, everyone's doing rock now. I can imagine, like, out of 400,000 people who watch Eurovision in Malta, 399,000 would say, "Oh, this is rock. They're trying to copy Måneskin."
Yeah, but Maltese people don't like rock in general. Maltese people
rock is such a broad genre, and the type of rock that they
from Malta went to Italy last year, so they like.
Yeah, but that's because Malta always votes for Italy.
No, there are a lot of rock heads in Malta.
Really?
Not
then why don't I see them in Malta Eurovision Song Contest?
because they still get this idea that Eurovision is for the usual
Vocally
Eurovision.
gifted.
Yes, exactly. It's interesting you mentioned this. Sorry,
Then
Eston, to
send
cut you
Rachela
off,
Daligozzi.
but I'm gonna. Oh my God, no! I'm gonna cut you off just a little bit. This year we had the second edition of Musica Musica, which is basically our Sanremo without being affiliated to Eurovision. It's got nothing to do with Eurovision. All the songs have to be in Maltese, and if you really want to check something good, I suggest you check out this festival because the songs are incredible.
Hopefully this
Much
one's on
better.
Spotify.
Much better. Not yet, but you know how it is in Malta with Spotify. But
you've had Spotify since 2013. Like, come on.
But there are some bands who went on it. In particular, this band called Oxygen, and they went on it this year. They're not a rock band, but I really like them, and I just wanted to let you know, check them out because it's really good. They would never enter Eurovision, but Musica Musica is a festival of prestige right now. Sorry, yes.
Did Aidan Katsar enter?
Not this year, no, because he was too busy.
Oh my God. Too busy.
But he entered last year, yeah.
Oh, well, Eston, you can go now.
I mean, Sean, you mentioned Rammstein, but I think if they were to
I mentioned them.
Yeah. If Georgia mentioned them, yeah.
Yeah.
If they were to enter Eurovision with, I think, their newest song, Tic Tac, that would be iconic. And a song like that would definitely not draw any comparisons to our winning song from last year. And I mean, Finland is basically sending a very, very similar song to what they sent last year. That's, I think, a similar genre in the genre of rock. And San Marino is sending something that sounds familiar to Italy last year. I'm not saying it's a copycat or it's the same, but I'm just saying you can do rock in such different ways. And Eskimo Callboy is not even a pure rock song, a rock band. I mean, they have songs that combine 80s disco with metal.
Mm-hmm.
You will not compare that to Måneskin.
I will not compare it to Måneskin, but let's face it, people who watch Eurovision and vote may not even be musically literate. They may
definitely not.
I mean, you can tell the difference between types of rock, though.
Yeah. Listen, you give people way too much credit. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, last year, I literally had colleagues, stereotypical Maltese people, who were thinking that Eurovision was rigged because how come Malta came first in the semi-final and then we came 14th in the televote in the final. And they asked me, which song did you vote for? And these are ones who are really angry that we didn't win. I told them I voted for Italy. And they were like, are you serious? That's not even rock. And I told them, oh, so what is rock? Tell me what is rock. I literally sat down and told them, yeah, tell me what is rock. And
so what genre could it actually be if it's not rock? Jazz?
That is how some Eurovision voters are musically literate. And guess who they voted for? Because I didn't leave without asking who they voted for. Norway. And that's where I rest.
Yeah, didn't Norway get 10 points from the Maltese televote or 8 points?
10 fucking balla points.
10 points.
I don't know. But yeah.
Deserved though, I love ticks.
About the Maltese
televote. Let's not get into the ticks argument.
Last song we're going to talk about, and I'm so happy this is the last one. Obviously, I didn't know this was the last one.
You kept it last on purpose.
Where's the better? Italy. I'm going to start with Giorgio because obviously
you
are from the peninsula.
Yes, I am. Well, I am very proud of the song that's representing us this year, as I was in the past years as well. From the moment that I first saw the performance at Sanremo, I knew that it was going to be a contender for the Eurovision victory because they have such a chemistry that I rarely see in duets. And the lyrics, for those who understand Italian, are very well written, albeit full of metaphors that not many can understand, which is typical of Italian music, actually. People who criticize Mahmoud falsetto that's just his way of singing, and he has such a peculiar voice, and not everybody's going to like it. So that's my response to their criticism. Blanco is, in my opinion, the strongest part of this song. 18 years old, or maybe he already turned 19, and so talented, so confident on stage. Blew me away with his stage presence. I wasn't expecting it. Like, he's only been around for a year in the end in the industry, and he's already that good. And he's actually from the province nearby. Well, and will this win? I don't think so, because Mahmoud released an interview, and he's completely in the mentality that Italy will not win and that he will rather give it to Ukraine, which is, in my opinion, what's going to happen. Like, imagine if we win, thanks to the juries, because the televote is obviously going to Ukraine, how much of an uproar there will be. Like, I think that Mahmoud will just go on stage and give up the trophy and say, no, this is not for us. We didn't win according to the public. So that's why I don't think it's going to win, because of the mindset that the singers are in. But it can bring us to second or third place very easily. This is a song that appeals to the juries more than anything that we've sent since many years ago. This is a song that appeals to the televoters, as proven by the success that is already registered outside of Italy. Like, it charted in 5 countries, I think. And I'm going to be proud if we get second place, because even though, of course, I would like Mahmoud to win Eurovision because he came second already in 2019, I will still be very proud of another podium position that's higher than anybody else except for Ukraine, which are going to be the public's favorites. So I only have positive things to say about our entry, even though in my top it's 12th.
12th?
12th, yeah. Actually, Italy is always pretty low in my tops. Like, I haven't had Italy in the top 10. I only had it in the top 10 in 2017 and 2019, and that's it.
12th?
Yeah.
I'm tired.
But actually, Italy is my winner in 1987.
Wow. I wish I was born back then.
Yeah,
That was
actually,
the last time you had Italy first.
No, I'm actually listening to the older Eurovisions for the first time these days, and I got to 1985 yesterday, and 1987 is the only time Italy is first for me. But it's second with Mahmoud, at least. Second to Australia.
Eston.
Eston.
So,
oh, I also have a
we
question for
discussed-
you to add to your conversation. Do you think Estonians will like this entry?
I think so. I mean, it is difficult to say, but I definitely think Italy will get points from both the Estonian jury and the televote. I don't know how much, but definitely I think we will vote for Italy. It is a ballad. It is radio friendly, and yeah, I think Estonians will appreciate it. But we discussed Brividi when we discussed the Sanremo festival, and I said and thought that this is a good song, but definitely not competing to win Eurovision. I have to eat my words because
I was just about to drop the mic.
I liked it from the moment I heard it, but I wasn't amazed. By now, it's one of the most listened to tracks this year for me, and I absolutely love it. The revamp was really well done. They, I think, did the best that they could. I like the guitar riffs at the beginning, but I understand that the people who are watching Eurovision will not know that. They have no idea. And the version that is going to Eurovision is excellent. The chemistry between them is amazing. And this, I think, has all the chances to finish second, and it would be a very, very high contender for the win if it wasn't for Ukraine, like you mentioned, Giorgio. So Italy, yeah, definitely can be very proud. I don't know how much they will play on like the romance card and the connection between the two men, because maybe some Eastern regions, Balkan countries, a lot of people might be thrown off by that, but I don't think it will affect it too much. And definitely Italy can be very proud. And looking at the OGAE poll this year, Italy got 7 points to answer your questions whether we will vote for Italy. So I think that shows that you can count on us.
We're the only ones to get points from all the countries.
Will you be reading out the points for Estonia again?
Ooh.
Yeah, so
You're in the
19
UK?
voters. I am.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
So-
You're president.
No. Just remember.
But you're the reader of the
but
votes
yeah.
because you're the most attractive one. Admit it.
I did it once. But yeah, 19 voters from Estonia. I was one of them. And the points from Estonia and OGAE were 1 point to UK, 2 points to Poland, 3 points to Spain, 4 points to Greece, 5 to France, 6 to Czech Republic, 7 to Italy, 8 to the Netherlands, 10 to Ukraine, and of course 12 to Sweden.
Wait,
Very
I'm surprised
predictable
we didn't
voting
give
from
any
Estonia.
points. Yeah,
very.
I'm surprised we didn't give any points to Finland. Would have thought that Finland could be instead of Spain, maybe, but interesting.
But the OGAs, they all vote more or less for the same songs in the end. Like all the votings kind of blend together if you look at all the results as I've been following them. Like Italy and Sweden were in the podium of almost everybody. There was Spain everywhere. There were the UK, the Netherlands did an amazing show, which is very good for them. They're sending something authentic and it's paying off. But anyway, back to Italy.
Yeah, I mean, back to Italy, I love it. I think they will do extremely well. I'm looking forward to the staging because in Sanremo, of course, we don't have a lot of staging. We just perform the song. So I'm really excited to see what they can come up with. And yeah, if Italy won, I would be extremely happy. I am really rooting for them. And yeah, the thing with Ukraine is they are the huge favorites, and they're most likely are going to win. But I hope they don't, because that would really ruin kind of the meaning of Eurovision. It's a song contest, and it would be as political as it was in 2016, where the song doesn't win, the country wins.
And
And
it's always there.
I wish all the best to Ukraine. We all do, but I really hope they don't win. And Italy, or even Sweden, the Netherlands, we have so many great candidates for the win. I just hope great song wins. And
But you
Italy
see,
is one of them.
You see with Ukraine is that they're probably
Can I
going
talk
to
about
be...
Italy before we talk about winners?
Yeah, of course.
Because this is the 40th song we are discussing in this
Yeah.
live stream. And I can finally say that this is my winner of Eurovision 2022. Italy, for the second year running, Måneskin was my winner last year. And
You're a true Maltese. Good neighbor.
I'm moving to Italy. This is
All right.
excellent.
You can't vote for us next year.
Excellent. When I heard this on the first night, Prima Serata on Sanremo, I wasn't as excited as I am now, purely because I get into Sanremo so much that I was like, La rappresentante di lista, San Giovanni, Irama, Elisa, Emma, like, and I wasn't really a massive fan of someone going back 2 years after winning Sanremo. But now the song has been my number one since the final of Sanremo, and it stayed there. Almost challenged by France, but eventually Italy still kept that podium, that winner's slot for me. I think that the Eurovision fan community does not give enough credit to Blanco, who is personally my star of this product. I like Mahmoud, but to me, Blanco just gives this song that spice, that Italian flavor, that not that Mahmoud doesn't, but I don't know. Like if this was just a Mahmoud track, I'll take it or leave it. But Blanco, especially with that really immediate rap at the end, just gives this song the character that it needs.
Yeah, he has a charisma that's unbelievable.
He's great. He's great. I wish he was a little bit more mature during the interviews. I wish I don't get those, what do you think about, like, and he's just like, I'm drunk. Next question. Very 18-year-old-ish, but hey. And the melody of the song essentially is so haunting and so captivating.
Gives you privity every time.
The melody.
No, he said, and you feel the shivers.
Yeah.
It gives you privity every time.
It gives me brividi on my arms, on my legs, on my nose, on my eyebrows, everywhere. Even my hair stands straight. I love this. This is a song with character. It's a song with spice. It's a fruity performance. I wish they don't stage it too much, in a way, so that they don't lose that connection, that sort of non-tactile connection.
Yeah, it's a song that doesn't need any props. You're right.
Yeah, and on the winner's narrative, I feel like if what you said happens, like they win and Mahmoud is like, I'm going to give this to Ukraine, I would be so disappointed in Mahmoud and the whole Eurovision community. And eventually, I would be ashamed of being a Eurovision fan if Kalush Orchestra accept the trophy after somebody else has won. That's number one. Number two, I think
they wouldn't.
If they accepted the trophy after somebody else
won, you're right.
That should be.
Remember what they did in Ukraine to get rid of the winner.
Yeah. Oh my God, Alina Pash. She would have won Eurovision and most years with no external situation.
That's true. That's true. I mean, the lead singer of Kalush Orchestra, by the way, is the most arrogant human being I've ever seen. Yeah. Is about to perform on the Eurovision stage. Can I just say, I recently watched the rebroadcast of Israel Calling, and I don't know, man. I just want to take that pink bucket hat off his hat and just chew it to bits. He is so aggravating.
Yeah, the bucket head is really punchable.
I can't stand him. Alex says hi. Alex from Estonia, by the way.
Hello, Alex.
I feel like a Ukrainian win this year would just be the most wrong thing ever, and I am just trying to reject it as much as I can. Also, Eurovision tries to be apolitical. So if they let Ukraine win, because let's face it, the EBU always has a strong hold on who wins and who doesn't. If they eventually let Ukraine win, this would be one of, how they say the greatest moments of history? This would be the opposite. This would be one of the worst moments of history. And I would say, Mahmoud said, if it could help, I would make Ukraine win. And I think he's doing wordplay here. He's actually stating that a Ukrainian win would not help.
If it could.
Exactly. So he said, if it could win, I would make Ukraine win. But it's actually not.
He also said Italy can't win twice in a row.
But that's that's playing.
No, maybe that's more like superstition because Italians do that all the time. Like we say, the opposite of which that will happen. Hopefully it's that.
In me trying to reject any narrative and scenario where Ukraine wins, I so believe that it is Italy's turn again. So
I think so, but I don't think Ukraine is going to be beaten because they're obviously going to be top 3 in every televoting, and many.
This is where
they came fourth. They came fourth in the Euro jury. I mean,
listen. This is where
I don't see any other scenario.
This is where I disagree with you.
But this is something that was going to do well regardless.
we talked a lot about Eurovision voters not always, having a musical ear. Everyone votes, whether it's a plumber, a pianist, everyone votes. However, recently, with how the televote has gone, a lot of momentum has been built on the televote actually rewarding the best songs, and not what I think is the best songs, but objectively speaking, you cannot deny that Måneskin had the most impactful performance last year. You cannot deny that Kano's Spirit in the Sky had the most impactful performance in Eurovision 2019. Even if you don't like the song, you cannot deny the immediacy. And the rest, Portugal 2017, I genuinely think that even if Ukraine will do well with the televote, and they might come first in the televote, I genuinely believe there will be enough people who will actually vote for the song, vote for the music, and that is where, it's not just Italy, there are, even though I'm not manifesting it, there is, of course, Sweden in the mix, there is, I guess, Spain for some people, but to me, Italy is the most obvious and the most objectively...
But you know what, Sean? That Stefania also benefits from being a song that sounds like no other in this competition. It's a hip-hop folk song. Like, it was going to stand out and do amazingly in the televote regardless of the external situation. And this situation is bigger than anything else. Like, people will only have that in mind. And that's why I think that Ukraine is going to get Salvador Sobral type of televoting success. Like, I don't see it any other way. I don't think they will get less than 5 points from any televote, much like Salvador.
And, the thing that we have said here as well is that there is not, if we're just talking about the songs, there is not a clear winner here. There are so many songs that could do extremely well that are competing to win, and the votes will split between all of those. But Ukraine is the one consistent country that everything...
There are 3 songs.
Well, let's...
Realistically speaking,
I think Italy, Sweden, Netherlands are, I think, the 3 that I would name.
I don't think the Netherlands are contenders for the win because their televote is not going to be strong enough. Like, speaking from a Mediterranean country, people from this region are not going to vote for it. It's a fan favorite, but the general public doesn't listen to that type of music here. Like, people will not be able to connect with it. And as much as I want Stien to do well, the taste of the public here doesn't go in her favor. It's a song that's going to do amazingly in Central and Northern Europe, but you need the whole continent to support you.
Okay, yeah, you have a point, but still.
While, for example, Norway, for example, to me is going to be a universal success in the televote.
In the televote, yeah, but then again, the jury will not.
Yeah, of course, the juries are, which in my opinion is wrong, because production-wise, Give That Wolf a Banana is the most interesting song this year. You listen to it with your headphones, you notice that every second of it has something interesting, like production layers, little details, vocal distortions that they add. It's a song that if I were a juror, I would reward.
It would get a lot of jury votes if the lyrics weren't.
Yeah, but I hope that they look past, juries have been voting heavily for ballads. We've had ballad winners of the jury vote every year since 2016. Every year. Sound of Silence, Amar Pelos Dois, Nobody But You, 2019, Proud, and last year, Tout l'Univers. It's time to switch it up. Like, you can appreciate a song and recognize that it's objectively good, even if it's not a ballad. And that's why I hope that this year they won't be overrating songs like Australia, Switzerland, that don't really have any redeeming qualities in the end.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't vote for Italy. I think the juries should really pick
Yeah.
up Italy.
Well, Italy has the language
Also-
barrier, which... But then
Well,
again, France
Italy,
voted last year, so...
I wouldn't say that the language barrier is a thing because Italian is just the
Voila,
most wonderful
John
and beautiful
Yeah,
song.
you're right.
language in not only Eurovision and Europe, the world. And the people who care to read the lyrics, or for the countries that have subtitles when the song is playing in Eurovision, for example, Estonia.
Really?
Yeah, of course. Every year we have subtitles for every song.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We don't have it.
I actually thought for a long time that this is universal, that everybody has it.
No.
Because, how else would you understand the lyrics? But yeah, this is. We even have translations for Estonian songs.
Oh,
this gives me so much hope for Serbia. Like, knowing this, and I
good.
Now,
yeah.
No, Estonians
not voting for Serbia.
Serbia will not vote for Estonia. Estonia will not vote for Serbia.
No, I think that the Estonian song this year is one of the strongest in the televote.
Estonia aside, like, if other countries did this whole subtitle thing, because when you mentioned the language barrier, I was like, yeah. But the only
I think
one
Finland uses them.
Is Serbia. Yeah, Finland uses them as well, I guess.
I think it's a no-brainer.
Serbia could win the televote. No, I'm kidding.
No, come on.
Yeah, but no.
But I will try to make it happen by voting for them, because it's my favorite song, but they're not winning the televote. I don't think that it will be understood easily outside of the Balkans, so I'm not expecting more than 100 votes or so.
I think Serbia could be the surprise non-qualifier, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, no.
No, let's not go that far, or else in the final I won't have an idea of who to vote for.
This is appreciated a lot in the Eurovision bubble, but outside, the Balkan region will vote for it. Outside of the Balkans, I don't see that people will vote for it. You're right, Sean. If every country had the subtitles, it would definitely elevate and make Serbia get a lot more points. But I don't see it happening right now.
Unless she adds subtitles automatically.
Yeah, that's also.
She could do that. Like Italy did in 2018. We finished third in the televote, 4 points behind Eleni Foureira. And we had a lyric video as our performance.
I don't necessarily, even if she doesn't do the lyrics, and even if she doesn't, even if there are countries that don't put subtitles on, I'm ready to put down money that this is going to be a massive televote success. And I'm not talking qualification. I'm really being minimalistic here. Top 10 in the televote, comfortable.
I could put down money to bet that it is not going to qualify.
How much are we putting down? Live betting is illegal, but fuck it. How much are we putting down?
No,
listen, Loco came ninth.
I think that this year has 5 songs.
I can make a comparison.
Compare.
No, so to speak. I would make a comparison to Telemovas. Huge Euro fan favorite. Everybody loved it. The message, oh my god, it's so great.
But that was pretentious and badly presented
in Eurovision.
It did.
And the same could happen here.
Wrong comparison in my
opinion. I disagree. But I think that this year has 5 televoting favorites that will stand out: Ukraine, Italy, Norway, France, and Sweden. I think these 5 are going to be higher than the rest. But I also think that Ukraine is winning because the jury vote, bless you, the jury vote, you're welcome, is not going to be decisive. I think that the jury winner will probably get around 250, 260 like the previous couple of editions, while Ukraine's televote victory is going to be a landslide, and that's why I don't see anybody surpassing them. But I think that overall Italy will be the most balanced one, getting maybe 250 votes from both votings, I think that's why we're going to end second, but I don't expect us to win. Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys. I wanted to ask you guys, breakdown wise, like, how do you think the votings are going to be like for the favorites for like Ukraine, Sweden, Italy, and so on? How much do you think each will get from the juries and from the public?
Very hard to predict.
I did my prediction with the
I'm
Excel
not gonna
files
make
and
a
everything. I did mine.
I would just go back to the big five that we actually came here to talk about, and ask you guys.
Just
Sean disappeared. Just you. I'm gonna ask you.
He froze.
How many out of the? You're back. How many out of the big five will end up in the top 10? I would predict at least 3.
At least
4.
3, yeah. Yeah, 3 or 4. You're right. Of course, Germany being the one that misses out. I think that the chances are, well, Italy and the UK for me are pretty much certain. France likely, Spain quite likely, and Germany unlikely.
Yeah.
For me, it's Italy definitely, France definitely. Who else? United Kingdom, Spain. I can never tell, but perhaps.
He doesn't believe in Spain.
Spain. Apart, you know what would be actually? I don't know what would be the funniest. If Spain just comes dead last, which is not going to happen, but if it would be funny. Or if they come 11th with, like, you know how Greece and Bulgaria were the same point, but Bulgaria just missed the top 10 because it did worse in the televote. This would give me so much pleasure if Spain came 11th. I'm not going to say the word, but I would CUM to see if I could see Spain coming 11th with a tie break. That would just be, back to the topic, Italy, UK, France.
Yeah, those are the most likely ones. Yeah. I hope that France doesn't, get its bad luck from 2017 or so back, because they kept ending 12 even though they were big favorites. But that's not going to happen, right?
They need to come top 10. It's like you knew. Because after the Big Five conversation, I literally put down 3 points, and I wanted to talk about potential winners, jury winners, and televote winners, which we already have done. But I want to touch up quickly on the last one. I wanted to ask, even because we didn't have Eston on the last chat, in both semifinals, are there any surprise qualifiers you can see?
From second, I would say San Marino.
Do you actually like San Marino?
I actually like it, and I think it could sneak in. Bravo. 9th or 10th qualifier, I would not be surprised. But of course, they don't have, friendly countries or guaranteed votes. They just rely on the song. And last year, it was, I think, the 10th qualifier. So it is unlikely, but I think it could sneak in. Others, from looking at the betting odds, I don't know. Malta, I don't think so, but maybe Romania.
And I say that.
Yeah.
What about Lithuania? Oh, that's the other semifinal.
Lithuania is in. Lithuania is in.
Not according to the bookies. The bookies say that Switzerland is in. Switzerland.
No. Lithuania in the booking odds is 10th.
Oh,
Austria is out right now.
Oh, I don't think they will be out. Yeah, Switzerland is out. Like, come on.
It's very close. It's very close. 10th, 11th, 12th between Lithuania, Austria, and Latvia. 2 days ago, Latvia was 10th. It was 50%, 50%, 50%. Those 3
I think that people are underrating Latvia's jury's potential, because that's a song where the production that juries pay attention to plays a huge role, and it came 12th, if I remember correctly, or 14th in the Euro jury vote today. So there's some hope for them.
And most of those people on the Euro jury actually end up on the actual juries, let's point out. I mean,
Well,
a lot of countries put Latvia in their top 3.
mhm.
And I actually think Latvia will be one of my surprise qualifiers. Not for me, because it was in since the day it was released. But this song has so much potential to go like big with the televote. And I'm talking 4th place in the semi-final with the televote. And the juries, like you said, Giorgio, I agree with you 100%. I feel like I almost
I mean,
this energy of mine rubbed off on you. I've been saying for
gets-
weeks on end
if it
that
gets
this,
like
to me,
75 televote points and 45 from the juries, which will put
We're in.
it around the 7th in the televote and 12th in the jury vote, they're in.
they're in. And I
And
think
that's a conservative
I've said this-
estimation for me.
I've said it in the semi-final one live stream. To me, this has a Lake Malawi quality in the sense that it has the biggest potential to come alive live, and for the audience to really roar it up beyond the ceiling of the Pala Olimpico in Turin.
The audience
only
didn't
thing-
really
Please do
react to
not
Lake Malawi.
compare City Seni to Lake Malawi.
The
Just
only thing,
please don't discuss me in that way.
The only thing that keeps them from having as big of a moment as they could is the stupid running order. It doesn't really add up to that moment, but of course I will compare them. I genuinely think City Seni could be one of the biggest surprises of Eurovision 2022. I know you don't like them, but I think they will be.
I mean, but will there be
I think
surprises?
one other surprise qualifier could be Iceland.
I would enjoy this surprise.
Coming after Austria as well, I think it could qualify, and I also could see Portugal not qualifying.
Yeah,
So,
those are all in a gray
Iceland
zone, in
is-
my opinion.
Iceland is very underrated, and by the bookies as well. 14th behind Croatia, behind Latvia, behind Switzerland. They
guys.
have more potential than you think.
Now, I would like to ask you guys something, because lately
Hang
on
on.
Twitter,
I think I just wanted to say, I'm not sure I agree with Iceland, but I hear you on Portugal. This is one song that I feel like the fandom is really overestimating. It's gonna be sleepy. It's gonna be so sleepy. I genuinely think that this is going to be a shock bottom 4 or 5 in the televote, and everyone's gonna be like, "What? It was so good."
I mean, you could be right. All
I
those
agree.
female ballads are in the gray zone. I think that the Netherlands is safely in, because that's a song that you objectively recognize its qualities. But all the others, and I was about to ask you guys, on Twitter and on Reddit, I've seen many people lately thinking that Greece might be the surprise non-qualifier because it flopped completely in the OK vote. But Estonia gave it points. But generally, they always vote for favorites, especially from females. It flopped. It flopped in the Euro jury. And especially, there was the German song preview the other night. And out of 10 songs they presented, Greece was 8th, according to the public. Armenia was better than Greece, according to the public in Germany. There was an online vote and everything. And they say that a lot of Euro fans participate in this, which makes it even worse, because I don't think Greece is not qualifying, but I think that's going to be the largest discrepancy between odds and actual result of the year. They were third in the odds at one point. I don't think that Greece is going to come in top 15 in the final at this point.
I guess the Germans won't be taking their sandals and their socks to Greece this year.
They're going to Lake Garda as always. And that's where Blanco is from.
Yeah, I also don't think they're gonna not qualify. I think they will qualify, but to me,
if they fail to qualify, I'll be smiling though.
It would be a nice slap in the face, but just in the same way as it would be to Armenia, to Azerbaijan, to these countries that they think they have it figured out, they don't know a clue what it's about. But I think a lot of the hype that's coming is from Greece itself, and usually that doesn't add up much.
Same with Poland, actually. A lot of the hype is from Poland itself, I've noticed.
And I
think they will do well. But even they tanked in the jury vote, they tanked in the Euro jury vote. The OK vote, they did fine. But I don't think they're going to be the success that the odds are expecting it to be. I expect
No.
lower top 10 at best for them, but it's a song that
Greece
it's
or
going to
for
be
Poland?
hard to connect with.
Potentially.
What?
For Greece or for Poland?
10th to 15th, potentially, for Poland, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at best they could come like 8th or 9th if the performance is exceptional, but knowing Ochman's performance abilities.
Yesterday, I was making mushroom risotto, and during that process, I turned on Alicia Michel's live stream, which was like it begun like ages ago, but I watched it yesterday, and there was one person on her live stream who said, "Yeah, he sings well, he has great vocals, but it doesn't mean I have to like them." That's exactly how I feel, and genuinely, I don't usually, think that many people will feel in the same way I do. But on this whole Poland thing, I just can't think about someone like my mom, who's a casual Eurovision viewer, unless she has a son pestering her to watch the songs and listen to them in the car every time we literally go out. And she, like someone like her, who these people, they don't sit down and watch Eurovision. Usually they're like crunching on popcorn or like doing something. That song, they can say like, "Oh, why is he crying?" And that just would be an immediate turn off. And I genuinely think Poland, for me, I'm believing in it less and less, but I still believe in it. My belief is that Poland will be the shock non-qualifier of 2022. Beat me up.
I wouldn't go that far.
Beat me up, crucify
I
me,
would.
but I genuinely cannot understand how this could do that well in both the jury and televote.
Yeah, the jury, I don't think it's going to back it up, but it has something in his favor, and that's the stage in Turin that features water. For a song called River, that's perfect. And Hoffman has no stage presence of his own because he's a classically trained singer.
In 100 televotes, just because the song that's called River has water on stage.
I don't think he's going to get 0 from the jury. I think the jury will give him like 50 at worst. But still, it's not going to do as well. Yeah, I don't think, but in general, I don't think it's not going to do as well as the book is predicted. Poland and Greece are this year's ballad losers when compared to the odds, in my opinion. And I wanted to ask Eston. In the live stream for semifinal 2, I said that Estonia is a contender for a huge televoting result. I'm expecting it to come top 3 in the semifinals televoting, together with Poland and Sweden. And I'm totally expecting Hope to come top 10 in the final televoting. Because that song is so cool.
Serbia? You think Estonia, Poland, and Sweden are going to get more than Serbia in the televote?
Yeah, because Serbia is not as universal as the Estonian song is. And I wanted to ask Aston what he thinks about this take.
I hope that it will happen, like you said. But I do think Estonia is a bit underrated in the booking odds. I mean, 16th, I think right now it's still great. But I really think that this is underrated in the Eurovision bubble. A lot of people, overlook it. But for people hearing it for the first time and knowing that what a lot of Eurovision fans have said, the staging in Eesti Laul, it was so tacky, and the cowboys on stage, they will be gone. And the staging will be much more clean, a lot better, and he will put more effort into it. The pre-parties have shown that people will sing along to I Hope, I Hope, I Hope. It will translate over to so many people. It is connected to the war in Ukraine, and people will connect the lyrics and hope with that as well. So, yeah, I do think that Estonia has a great chance at reaching the top 10. And I think qualifying-wise, overall, top 4, top 5
Yeah, absolutely
in the semi-final is very, very realistic.
Absolutely agree. It's a song, in my opinion, that's universal, but its strength is that it's a cool song. People tend to underrate the coolness factor that influences people into voting for someone. Like when you see somebody singing a song that sounds like it's perfect for them, performed in a way that's like, whoa, I wish it was him. And I think that Stefan manages to achieve that perfectly. So that's why I think that Estonia will keep the tradition of going top 10 once every 3 years.
And I think that, like we mentioned with Malik Harris, he's a guy that it's easy to connect with.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great performer, a great vocalist. I mean, even in the live performances and pre-parties, the vocals have been on point every time.
Mm.
He connects with the live audience. He connects with the televote audience.
And he has a contagious smile.
No reason.
That's true. That's true. He's very likable. I'm not yet convinced by the limits you are going to in describing how well this will do in the televote. I like it. I have no problem with seeing this come top 3 in the televote. But I think, first of all, I think Serbia is a candidate to win the televote in the semi-final. Definitely top 3. And I would like to see, for instance, someone like Sweden, who I like, but I never wanted to see Sweden do extremely well because they've done so well. But obviously they're coming top 3 again. I wouldn't hate to see Estonia in the top 3, but I think the result that Estonia will get is more something like Israel got last year, a consistent 5th place, juries and televotes. It is a song that I can see liked by both of them, but not extravagantly high, not extravagantly low, like consistency. And
yeah, but
that usually can go either way in the final, because if it gives them an edge, I don't know if it can come top 10 in the final, but I like it and I wouldn't hate it to be in the top.
But you see with Serbia is that it doesn't have a universal appeal. That's the problem. That's why I also think the Netherlands are not contenders, because that song is not universal. It has an amazing appeal on a region of Europe, but you don't do very well with half of Europe.
That's what we thought about Russian Woman. That's what we thought about Zitia Boni. That's what we thought about Voila. These were all televotes.
No, Voila was going to do well continent-wide. And Russian Woman, come on, Russia gets 80 points automatically, no matter what they send, and they got 100 from the televote.
Do you remember how many Western European juries voted for Russia? I mean, Russia, the big bad Russia. Belgium, Germany, Norway, Sweden, all giving Russia points. I don't know.
No, I don't remember that.
Well, Google it. He says
they came 9 or 10. I don't remember. They came 9. Let me see. Let me ask Saint Wikipedia.
Listen, until you ask Saint Wikipedia, this live stream is almost going over 2 hours, and I'm gonna find it. Say I'm right.
And while you search for it, I think in the odds, in the semi-final 2, Australia 3rd is unbelievably high, and I think Australia could well not qualify.
Really?
And you compared it with Azerbaijan. I don't know, are they that similar? And I like Azerbaijan way more.
They're both vocal show-offs with
can't connect it with. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Australia
just has a more attractive singer,
definitely will not do as well as they all say.
I think that
Belgium,
the juries.
I don't know.
I think that the juries will cream themselves over these 2 songs.
The juries will love it a lot more than the public, but I don't know. It could be a narrow qualifier or a definite non-qualifier.
Well, if they do qualify,
Cyprus will definitely qualify. I mean, it's 10th in the odds. I think it will be much higher.
Can I just say something? And I would like to close with this so we wrap up this live stream so it won't be too long. Malta will qualify. Mark my words. No, I don't necessarily want it that much to qualify, but Malta will qualify.
Say it in Maltese.
Malta.
Say it in Maltese. Malta هيا دوت لا. Na finale. Al finale. Malta al finale.
Exactly. It's been a pleasure. We will talk again after some way to rehearsals. And until then, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and EPIX Eurovision Guy's channel over here. Like this content and come and follow us on Instagram. We'd love to have more
And
Eurovision fans.
greetings to Bex as well, who
Yeah.
in the end,
Yes. Who is still
Rebecca
at
Nicole
work.
de Guara.
Yes.
he was
She
supposed to
she will
join
be with
us, but in the end, she didn't.
Her soul was
like-
with us.
Just like what's
Yes.
his name? Asiyazar. Thank you guys. See you later. Happy Eurovision rehearsals. They start tomorrow. We will see you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.